rural America. I spoke with South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem about her state. Governor, we've talked so many times when you were in Congress. Now you are the governor of a state that has been hit by this coronavirus. Can you give me an update of how badly your state has been hit so far?
Sure. We had our first case of COVID-19 in South Dakota on March 10th. Since then, we've had several hundred cases. Today, we have 393 positive cases in the state of South Dakota. And we've really got just one or two hot spots in the state. Really, 2/3 of the state doesn't have much for spread yet, but we're getting ready for the future. Our peak says that it should hit us in June. But we are preparing, and our people are ready to take mitigation actions when necessary.
Now, your state's an important state, has a population of, less than 1 million when we compare it to like a hotspot like New York City. It's different. So have you issued a shelter-in-place order?
I put an order in place on Monday for 2 counties in my state. It's Minnehaha and Lincoln counties, which is my largest city. It's Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And you're right, South Dakota is very different than New York City. We're very rural, we're pretty sparse, but we do have 1 or 2 larger cities. We might have some issues with community spread because the population is so closely located together. So on Monday, I issued for those 2 counties, for 65 years old and older, and those that had health conditions that would compromise their immunity, that they should stay home for the next 3 weeks. So it's specific just to that vulnerable population that for the next 3 weeks in those 2 counties, I need them to stay home.
How has it been working with have you been working with other governors and talking about their problems and with the White House?
Well, the White House has been great as far as communications. I just got off the call with Mark Meadows. I spoke last night to Jared, talked to Dr. Fauci this morning right away. So they've been great to work with and getting us what we need as far as resources, supplies, and information. I would say it's different being governor than being a member of Congress. You know, you don't have any colleagues really in your state that are looking at things from the viewpoint of being on the ground. And literally, you're the one who makes the decision and the call each and every time. So, but I have been speaking with all my governors around the country. We compare our models all the time. We compare our data. We look at what actions, what the ripple effect has been, how they're making their decisions, if there's experts.
Well, in terms of the stimulus bill, there's one already passed, one that's contemplated. Is that going to help your state? And are you in favor of another phase of the stimulus bill?
Well, it'll help us as far as covering our COVID-19 costs that we have. You know, we're a pretty small state, and you know, we don't tax our people much. We don't have heavy regulations. It'll help us cover some of the costs that we're incurring. The problem that we have in South Dakota, which I think every state is facing, is that we have huge and significant revenue loss. Business just stopped. As soon as the president said he needed people to stay home for 15 days, I mean, people in South Dakota listened.
Hasn't South Dakota suffered somewhat even before this with the trade war with China, and now you add this on top of it? So I imagine that the revenue loss is rather significant. I mean, you've got the whole ethanol industry in South Dakota. I don't know where you come up with the money with all this.
Yeah, we actually just had a bunch of our ethanol plants shut down. But Greta, we got hit with the trade issues. Our number 1 industry is agriculture. But second, last year in 2019, we flooded all year long. I had, I think, 62, 63 of my counties in South Dakota out of 66 be declared federal disaster areas last year. And some of those counties were declared disasters up to 4 to 5 times in 1 calendar year. So take into account for low commodity prices, big disaster declarations all of 2019, and now we have this virus hit our state. And then we're a thrifty state anyways. It's just been a real challenging 5-6 years here in our state.
Governor Noem says current models show South Dakota will reach its coronavirus peak in June. Now let's take a look.